Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 bum. Hello. Hello. Hello, fun people. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. I'm still in the mood. To do this. I'm still having fun with this. It's nice not being me. Hey, Rainbow. How's it going? Good to see you. What was that voice? Hey, Rain. I'm trying to give you a nickname, but it's just going wrong and wrong. Hi, Rainbow. How's it going? Yes. Going good, especially now that I'm on. This is an insane take. This is an insane take. I never do anything on Threads. I've posted once or twice there. All I do really is advertise the stream on there. But this is a take. Of course it comes from Twitter. Of course it comes from Twitter. But the biggest reason I hate first person is if I'm reading a book and the protagonist is talking about I while doing something the most mind-numbing bullshit. I'm tossing the book in the trash because I would never make that. Oh my god, thank you. There's nothing more annoying than the first person and its terrible character. I did not arrive at that at the frat party wearing no pennies. That barnyard animal did, and she's making a mess all the time. Okay, so I don't know. These threads bug me because it's like, you know, like here is some random internet person to hate. But that is a take. That is a take. People understand when somebody says I, they're referring to themselves. You almost never. Anyways. So drag. Dragging on the Ritz. Do 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 do. What is going on? Dragina. Dragina? Okay. Dragina. We'll go with Dragina. Okay. Listen, I know it's a dumb thing, but sometimes The Devil Wears Prada 2. Um, why not The Devil Wears Prada 2 TOO? That it becomes a sentence. Dragina? I don't say a lot of names correctly, so I'm glad. Okay. Okay. I do say words correctly. Okay, so what are we gonna do today? I don't know. I honestly don't know what I want to do today. Theoretically, right, but I'm up for just hanging out generally for a minute or two. I um I had an idea for a D&D campaign where see that's good. Or like, have you ever Dragina? Have you ever played Savage World? I've been really wanting to run a Savage Worlds campaign for a long time. See, one of my big problems with like D&D is one of my big problems with D&D, if I could for a minute, one of my big problems with D&D is I don't like combat in D&D. I think combat is really boring in D&D. I think um, I think it takes too long. You can sit there for a good 20 for a full party, you can sit there for a good 20 to 30 minutes. And I've timed it before when I've been in D&D games. Like I'll just sit there for 20 minutes and not do anything and be like, okay, and then do one thing, and then it's my turn is over. It's very boring. It doesn't feel good. I've seen people play Savage Worlds, and it's a lot faster, a lot more, um, a lot more zippier of a game. It seems to take a minute to get people used to it, but once people do, the combat is a lot better. And if I could, I'd like to run a Savage Worlds campaign. Anyways, I had an idea for one a while back. That I would like to do. You know what I just realized? I don't have a just chatting box with the cat. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Leilai. He's right here. He's getting. I'm just messing with some stuff. Hello, just so I can have a proper just chatting box. How's it going? I'm glad you love it. One second. I'm having fun with this too. I don't know if it'll be a permanent thing. It might be until I'm done working for the campaign I'm working on. Is why I originally did it, because I didn't want to be like, if I was working on the campaign, I'd be like, oh, hello campaign people. Yes, I do stream. Okay, yeah, so. How's it going, Leilai? How's it going? Hello. Okay. It is. Ah! It's going. It's Jaden. Hey, Jaden. Hey, Jaden. How's it going, Jaden? Good to see you, Jaden. Hey, Jaden. How's it going? How's it going? Good to see you, my bud. Okay. I was just getting the just chatting part thing up and going. Oh, we've got already 4 likes. See, changing things up works pretty good. It is kind of amazing, right? Yeah, I love it. I love it. Hey, and it's not so lonely, which is... Because I was bored, Jaden. I needed to change something up in my life or I was going to go crazy. Mad. Anyways. Because my life has been very samey for very long, and I needed some change. Anyways. Yes, total kitty. I don't know. Hopefully writing in a little bit, but I think most people would agree. I think most people would agree, at least this is my take, is that it's better to have strong characters and a mediocre plot, as opposed to mediocre characters and a strong plot, especially for something like a superhero. It is fried chicken, especially for something like a superhero thing. We'll do some writing at some point down the line. I don't know. I'm sure I've talked about Savage Worlds before, but I want to run a campaign in Savage Worlds at some point. No, you're fried chicken. We could, I don't know. What do you want to do? We could talk about anything, do anything. I said writing, but I'm up for doing something different if we really want to today. I re-downloaded Stardew Valley. Yeah. A lot of really good books and movies just have very simple plots, Jaden. I mean, Jaden, I don't think you're writing a mystery story, right? If you're writing mystery, then it's important. Plotting is much more important in like mystery and stuff, you know? With, I refuse to get in the car. I don't trust cars. I've actually got some writing done lately, which I was very surprised by. I don't trust clowns. I don't trust clowns. Clowns. Nobody paints their face like that if they've had a good life. Yeah. Yeah, I would say, Jaden, it's best for superheroes. Yeah. For superheroes, it's best to focus on characterization and storytelling, and then focus on plot once you've got all that nailed. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anyways. I will jog alongside the car, but I will not go in the car. I think that works, Jade. So, Layla, what have you been? Yeah. Okay, that works. No, you all live as legends. Well, this short story I've been working on for like a year. I'm in the middle of rewriting it at the moment. But, you know, it is what it is. I don't know. I feel like I want to change this section, but I don't got great ideas for it at the moment. Hopefully I'll get it published one day. Then you can read it. I mean, I guess you could read it right now. You could look at it right now. Yeah. I think that works. Be ambitious. Jade. Okay, Jade. You're young, and this is the exact time to be ambitious with these sorts of things. This is the exact time to learn how to be ambitious like this. Okay. Yay! So we can talk now. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if I've Layla, I don't know if you've been here while I worked on this project. So the basic premise of it is it's about the basic premise is that it is the story involves so it's about essentially like what would happen if Uber came to a fantasy world. Yes, of course, we should always celebrate tornadoes. They're nature's most beautiful creatures. Yeah, basically. So it's like you sign up. It's called Adventurer, and you sign up for it, and it's you can go on. It's essentially gig app, but for adventure, but for fantasy heroes. Yeah. and we follow. We follow our two main characters who have an experience on their first. We follow Lanny, our main character, as she has a experience on her first night doing this. Well, tell me about the brother. Explain to me the brother. As a character. Yeah, I thought so. I've been working on this short story for like a year and a half. I don't know. I think I've talked about I've talked about this with people. This is the premise of the D&D campaign, by the way. Although we've kind of moved away from the app, they haven't really used it in a while, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, so it's our main character is Lanny. It's Lanny Blake is her name. She is essentially a failed artist. She's a failed artist in a fantasy world and is a massive fan of adventuring novels. And she sees this ad and signs up to do it, and yeah. It's about her experience. It's about her experience that night as everything goes very, very wrong on her first adventure from sure, Fred. But it's yeah. She meets another adventurer named Pigeon, and they fight a giant rat, and there's no twist coming. And there's a twist of what they're actually supposed to be doing there. Anyways. Yeah. Yeah. And it's basically the same premise as the D&D campaign. Okay. Anyways, I grab the wheel and turn us around. Oh no, it's an EF6 tornado. You should write. Oh no, EF6. Woo! Coming in. Hey, creative. Yes, it's a cat. I'm a cat now. I got turned into a cat by a witch. That's the lore. Not that I don't know. I was bored. I explained it. Yeah. Witches be doing that. I'm copacetic. Or I'm still here, Jaden. Okay, so tell me about your character. Okay, tell me about Connor. I want to hear about Connor, Jaden. Tell me about Connor. I don't know. Why do you feel that that moment isn't playing right now, Jaden? Oh no, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. So how's it been, creative? How's it going? Isn't that we kind of all are at all? Okay. I mean, you could. Jaden, this is a show you probably haven't seen, but let's see. Yeah. But tell me about it. Why do you feel like you're procrastinating too much? This is a show you haven't seen, but okay. So I kind of like this idea you have, Jaden, about that he wants to see the good in people. Um, but okay. So Barry kills Chris. We're not gonna play it, but kind of a spoiler, but whatever. So okay, maybe something like this, Jaden. So Connor needs to die, right? I feel for you at that. Okay. Um, okay, so can I explain the plot to you? Yes, Fred? Can I explain the plot to you a little bit of the show? And maybe there's something in here. Okay? Oh my god. Okay, so, okay. So the story, Barry is about Barry. Let me. Barry is about Barry, this guy right here. He's an He's an assassin and a former Marine with pretty severe PTSD, and he decides he's going to quit the assassin game and become an actor. Oh my god! But the problem. Okay, okay. So okay, Lele. Let's think of it. Let's break it down into steps. What do you think is the? Let's break it down into steps. What do you think is the easiest thing you can accomplish? Um. And yeah. Okay. So, where was I? Okay, so Barry's an assassin, and he moves to LA to become an actor and join an acting class. But he still has like connections to his old job of being an assassin. But he reaches out to an old friend of his from the Marines, Chris. Now, Chris is a family man who is maybe leading a little bit of a boring life and might want a little bit of excitement. And what happens is, what happens is Barry. What happens is Chris kind of invites himself along on one of Barry's less murderous jobs, and it goes very wrong, and Barry has to end up killing the people involved. Now, there is some good in Barry. Barry has the potential to be a better person, but he's also kind of morally weak in other ways. And he will prioritize his survival over doing the right thing. So this is a scene where Chris confronts Barry about what they just witnessed.
You know what? I'll never. And if I gotta do some time, that's it. Okay, that's it. I'm going to the cops, and I'm gonna tell them everything. And if I gotta do some time, fine. But I'm coming.
I'm just playing that music's in the background. I'm just playing it so I don't get copyrighted strikes. So what it is Chris comes to Barry assuming that Barry will be reasonable and do the right thing, but Barry goes into survival mode, and that costs Chris his life. So kind of why I'm bringing this up is for you, Jaden, is maybe something like that. Maybe like there's a friend in Connor's life, like who has the potential to get better but is struggling deeply, and like Connor decides to try and help them, but then it goes wrong, and that's where Connor trying to help a person goes wrong, and it ends up costing Connor his life. Something like that, maybe, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, okay, if I was you, what it would be, that's how I would do it. Right? But the trick is, don't make them like a secret villain. Don't make them like irredeemably evil. They could have been better. They could have been better. Connor is right. They could be better. They could be better if they... Oh no! They could be better. Good person, bad circumstances, and when it push comes to shove, their better angels don't come out. Yeah, exactly. Good person, bad circumstances. And Connor's main mistake with thinking he alone could have fixed it. Something like that maybe could work. Fred, that was my only car. That was my Ferrari Countach. So Layla, what are you working on right now? What are you working on right now? And so, okay, just, if you ever want to share, I love your art, if you ever want to share it. So Jaden, if do you know what tragedy is, Jaden, in storytelling? So that character. Awesome! I'm glad to hear that, Leylai. If I could, just. I often describe tragedy, like in my head, tragedy is a failed character arc. That a character has a chance to become better and rise above their station, become a better person, and yeah, well, okay, so like I always defined it. Okay, fiction is all about character arcs. Fiction is all about like a character becoming a better person. And I always define, in my head, a tragedy is the reverse of that. The character fails to rise above, even when given the chance. This is what, like, okay, so, like the character fails to learn the lesson. And I think that's maybe, whatever happens to Connor, that's the bad thing that happens to Connor. Like Connor's friend is that, yeah. So in my head, okay. So 7. Fred, 7. Sean R. Kleiser, it's been better. It's been better. We're mostly talking about tragedy, what a tragedy is at the moment, and how to do tragedy, and how it is different from traditional fiction. How's the words going with you? Yes, I know. That's how Aristotle defined them, but this is, of course, my personal definition. In my head, like a traditional story as we understand them now is character goes through arc, character learns to be a better person, character overcomes their flaws. In my head, the way I always perceive tragedy is the reverse. Character has flaws, character has chance. Character fails to overcome flaws. Okay. Yeah. But here's the trick, Jaden. Here's the trick. You need... Hello, Nevermore. You need to give that character a decent enough arc. Like, make the reason why they're joining feel believable and authentic to the character. Like, to me, how's it going, Never? Exactly. Well, nobody wants to hear the story of. Nobody wants to hear how a hero failed. Even though real life is so much about just failing and failing again. Like, to me, the best example of a modern day tragedy. The one I think most people use this as like. Don't get into fight. To me, the best example of a modern day tragedy is Death of a Salesman. Do you guys know about Death of a Salesman? Jaden, have they gone over this? They never go over this one in high school usually. Because that's usually about the failure of America, of the American dream. Death of the Sales, or as it's known in modern day adaptation. Okay, so Death of the Salesman is really is a basic story. It's about Willie Loman, who is a traveling salesman, who for the last... Okay, I'm liking this, Jaden. I'm liking this. Change your pants, Fred. That's the only thing you can do. Okay, so Death of the Salesman is about Willie Loman. Willie Loman is in many ways a failure. He's a traveling salesman, and he's been on a... Yes, he's been on a massive losing streak. He hasn't really been selling much, and he has two sons, Biff and the less Happy, right? Biff and Happy. The names are a little bit on the nose, gotta admit. Okay, I don't. Okay. I don't want to do this bit, Fred. So we're not doing it. And Willie is suffering. They're going broke, and they need more money. They essentially need more money. Biff and Willie have had a massive falling out, and Happy is seemingly going to follow Willie into this depression of like desperately trying to gain money. Anyway, so and the story really follows. We kind of really learn that Willie is absolutely convinced about certain things in America, of the way America. He is convinced the best thing to be is loved, and needs. Okay. He is convinced that the best thing to be is loved, and is desperately trying to convince everybody around him that he is a success. And we learn why there's been a massive fallout, why him and Biff have had a massive fallout, and the failures of Willie's life. Anyways, and the story ends with trigger warning. Suicide, I guess. With Willie killing himself and saving the house with the insurance money. It is very much. It's a tragedy, and Arthur Miller, and we also find out that Willie has been having a long-term affair with a woman, and that's why him and Biff found out. That's why him and Biff have had a falling out. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Yeah. Okay, I see that. Yeah. How's it going, Never? Anyways, so that's kind of, and the failure. Okay, so what is a tragedy is that in a traditional story, what Willie needs to learn is that this endless pursuit of trying to make money by the correct corporate way is wrong. See, throughout the play, we learn that Willie has throughout the play, we learn that Willie is a talented carpenter, and he could probably be happier and make more money if he just embraced carpentry and stopped trying to pursue this version of success he has for himself. And he's given so many opportunities to do so, but because he's so fixated on this one idea that he has to be successful, in this exact way. Um, he can't rise above it. And the story, in some ways, Biff is the real main character, and Biff learns to abandon this pursuit forever and be his own person. Hey, never another John Malkovich performance. I mentioned it. It's been a long time since I've seen it, so I was trying to remember everything about it. That one was a little weird. My one criticism about the movie is that Dustin Hoffman and John Malkovich aren't that far apart in age, and it's a little distracting at times. That's my only criticism about the movie. Yeah. No, I love Arthur Miller. You guys... Wait, it just occurs to me. You guys have 100%... Yes. Classic tragedy. You guys... I just remembered something. You guys have 100%... you guys know a Arthur Miller play. You guys know a Arthur Miller play because 100% of you have gone through an Arthur Miller play in high school. Know at least one Arthur Miller play. The Crucible. He also wrote The Crucible. Yeah. Well, that's kind of me. To me, that's the difference between a tragedy and, like, not necessarily a comedy, but, like, to me, a tragedy is a character fails to live up. A character fails to have the arc. The character can have the arc, but fails. Does that make sense? That's very interesting, Fred. Yes, you are a fourth-dimensional being. Hard shell tacos or soft shell tacos? Yeah. But Layla, did you read The Crucible in high school? I did. Did you read? Did you? Fred, do you know what The Crucible is? Have you ever heard of The Crucible? It's funny that they do The Crucible, but they don't do what is considered his masterpiece, which is Death of a Salesman. I'm always curious by that choice in high school. I don't know. Okay, but soft shell tacos or hard shell tacos, Fred? A fourth dimensional being should have opinions on that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Really, because usually they do The Crucible. The Crucible is usually a standard play. Is one of the ones that you usually read. I read it in high school, The Crucible. Yeah, but I was trying to me, you look for. I'm always interested in trends and stuff. The Crucible is really great. The Crucible is about the Salem witch trials. Okay, Jaden. Question. Have you ever? Did you read The Crucible in high school? Have you read The Crucible yet? Are you going to? Yeah, it's really great. Daniel Day Lewis is in the film version, which is always a big thing for me. I like Daniel. I always love Daniel Day Lewis. Um, the Crucible. Did you read The Crucible in high school? A lot of people read The Crucible in high school. How's it going, Yuji? Fun fact: Daniel Day Lewis met his wife on the set, and she is the daughter of Arthur Miller. The movie's pretty good. It's actually scripted by Miller himself. So yeah. How's it going, Yuji? Yeah. Yeah. It's not like yeah. Oh, you. I see at least two gooses. Yeah. Three geese. You read The House of Usher and Metamorphosis in high school? You had some good. You had some good, and The Tempest. Well, I didn't get. We didn't read The Tempest till college. Yeah. Did you, never? So you did you read? Did you? But in high school, I'm talking about in high school. Did you read The Tempest in high school? I of course I read The Tempest, but not in high school. Really, that is shocking to me because we usually Shakespeare for the Shakespeare plays we do in high school usually, from my experience and asking people around, is Romeo and Juliet and then Macbeth. Yeah, that's very cool. That's very cool, Yuji. Oh, you were in okay, okay. I'm talking about like standard. Which one? Which one? Okay, yeah. Well, that makes sense. Which the Metamorphosis? Yes. Yeah. Is that a Roblox thing? Red. Is that a Roblox thing? Um, Metamorphosis is amazing. I love Kafka. Um, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Let's let's head to Prague right now. Edgy, minimalist shoot, and make a and write and adapt Metamorphosis. That's cool. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Did you ever read anything else by Kafka? What? Yeah. And of course, Kafka. I mean, this Kafka from oh Genshin. Oh, so it's a character in Genshin Impact. It's so funny. One of my favorite movies is a Kafka adaptation. I don't know if you've ever seen Orson Welles' adaptation of The Trial. Never. That is an amazing movie with with the psycho himself, Anthony Perkins as Kay. Rivet indeed. What's funny is I believe it is in the public domain, so you can just watch it totally by yourself. Haha. Let's see.
Who are these people? The accused. You. Why are you here? I'm waiting. What is you waiting for? Yes, in December, I believe. That was some time ago. I'm waiting here for the result. You certainly seem to be taking a good deal of trouble over it. Yes.
I've seen the backroom trailer movies. They look good. Yes, I've seen the backroom trailer. Yeah, it looks good. I will be eternally jealous of that kid, but I don't know. I can't deny it. It looks good. I I watched it already. There's nothing for me to like gain from looking at it, but and I don't want to get copyright striked. But yeah, I'll be eternally jealous of that kid, but whatever. Like, I mean, the truth of it is, it looks good, and I checked out his channel. He can do it. Yeah, he has the talent. He has the talent to do this sort of stuff. If you don't know, they are adapting the back rooms into a movie. Um, yeah, they're adapting the back rooms into a movie, and the Kane Parsons, who is the kid that has been doing the web series version, is directing it fully. And I have been, yeah, I'm jealous, of course, because he's like some 20-year-old kid who's getting a full A24 movie. A24 is producing his movie, and I'm like jealous, of course, because why wouldn't I be? But I checked his channel. I checked his channel. I think he deserves it. Nice, Fred. Yeah. Uh, the how do you pronounce this actor's name? It's Chinwe Ithwe. I'm sorry. It's the guy from 12 Years a Slave. isn't it? Oh. Do it. I mean, theoretically. It's hard to get people to focus. Theoretically, I'm working on something, but it's always hard to kind of wrangle you guys into focusing for like a minute. Yeah, I'd love to talk about Kafka. I love to talk about Kafka and Orson Welles and stuff for like 2 hours, but I Did you guys ever see The Lighthouse? Who's seen The Lighthouse? I mean, I've got a few things I could work on. I love this. I love this scene so much.
Say it. Say it!
I don't have to say nothing.
Danny! Let Neptune strike ye dead, Winslow! Hark! Hark! Triton! Hark! Bellow! Bid our father, the Sea King, rise from the depths full foul in his fury. Black waves teeming with salt foam to smother this young mouth with pungent slime. To choke ye, engorging your organs till ye turn blue and bloated with bilge and brine and can scream no more. Only when he, crowned in cockle shells, with slithering tentacled tail and steaming beard, take up his fell befinned arm. His coral tine trident screeches banshee-like in the tempest and plunges right through your gullet, bursting ye, a bulging bladder no more, but a blasted bloody film now, a nothing for the harpies and the souls of dead sailors to peck and claw and feed upon, only to be lapped up and swallowed by the infinite waters of the dread emperor himself. Forgotten to any man, to any time, forgotten to any god or devil, forgotten even to the sea. For any stuff or part of Winslow, even any scantling of your soul, is Winslow no more, but is now itself the sea.
All right, have it your way. I like your cooking.
I love that scene so much. I love that scene so much. It's like the greatest scene ever. Hark! Okay. I was yeah, what about you? Never? Are you working on anything? So, Yuj, what are you up to What are you up to tonight? Let's let's see. Let us see. What's going on? He's a very cute cat, Jaden. He is a very cute cat. That's kind of my story right now. How long have you had your cat? Yeah, just plotting. I guess I am too. I have stuff I'm working on, but it's I have stuff I'm working on, but we can just do other stuff here. Or you'll explode. Or you'll explode. Yeah. I mean, that's a good way to, yeah. See, never. You have work ethic. I procrastinate. I get overly obsessed. Oh my god. Sorry, not you. This thing irritates me. I've been working on this short story for like 2 months. No, you got good work ethic. I've been working on this short story for like 6-7 months, and I'm still like a quarter of the way through it in the way I want to be. Okay, Jaden. Good night. Well, that should be considered positive. But never the fact that you're getting a short story done every week when your job is as long and as wild as it is. I fiddle with things. Yeah. Well, I read it. Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's a very good. That's a very nice compliment. Never. Yeah. Well, it's just I try and get it. I want it to sound good and. Yeah. Yeah, it takes time. It just takes time. Yeah. Thank you. Never. I don't think I've ever read your writing. If you ever want to send me some, I'd be happy to. Fade. How's it going, Fade? How's it going, Fade? How's it going, Fade? Nothing much. We're just chatting, talking, being all cool, hanging out. Right on. Yeah. I mean, you were always one of the cool kids, Fade, because you were on this stream. You know, I've never actually sat down and read any of the Doc Savage stuff. I know, terrible. I have. I know a lot about. I've read about it, but I've never sat down and actually read Doc Savage. I misspelled it as badly as I could. Yeah. You can't read? Then what are you doing here, Fade? How can you read all the words that are being written in chat? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I respect if people don't know who Doc Savage is an early pulp hero called the Man of Bronze, and he's kind of like a prototypical Superman in a lot of ways. And is probably for Americans is probably the start of is one of the earliest examples of an American style superhero. Not bad. I speak in truth. Yeah, I don't know if I've read about his. Has anybody seen Fade, Fred? Never has definitely seen the show. The Venture Brothers. I took a very long nap today too, actually. Of course, you have never. Jonas is kind of a parody. Doctor Jonas Venture is a parody of Doc Savage. It's. I always say that is particularly the most. It's a fundamental human right, Fred. I would say that. Mecha Shiva! But I thought you said you don't read. I love the Venture Brothers. Anyways. Yeah. I've got you in a lie. Love that show so much. Of course I love birds. What's your favorite type? I've thought about getting a bird before. It's luck, Fred. It's good luck when that happens. course, everybody knows that. His plane crashed into Buddy Holly's jet. Nobody talks about that, but his plane crashed into Buddy Holly's jet, and that's what killed him. The Big Bopper. Juvat. Bamba. Do you know who Buddy Holly was, Fade? Fine. That's cool. Sick. Why am I misspelling words today? This was Buddy Holly. Okay, well, you're going to learn who Buddy Holly was. This was Buddy Holly. Buddy Holly was a very, very early rock. Okay, let me explain, Fade. Buddy Holly was a very early rock and roll star. He had several major hits. He grew up in Lubbock, Texas. He definitely influenced later nerd culture stuff, and then he famously he was in a plane crash and died when he was 22, and then he died at the age of 22 when his plane crashed. So yeah, well, he was only 22 when he died, which was always, and so it's one of the great, like, yeah. I mean, whatever. It's fine. It happened long ago. But yeah. Richie Valens and the Big Bopper. Yeah, so, and he was famous for very, like, I don't know. You think I got in trouble for playing a little bit of his music? I'm going to do it anyways. His most famous song is a song called Peggy Sue. I won't play it too much. Now, Buddy Holly. I'm just going to explain every little hint of every important influence that Buddy Holly had. Buddy Holly's band was called the Crickets. So, a little rock band was a big fan of. There was a little rock band out in England that was a big fan of his, and a little rock band that was a big fan of his. So they wanted to call their band something similar. So they called themselves the Beatles. When Elton John needed new glasses, he started wearing this type Buddy Holly wore. And yeah, there's a bunch of little things. There's a bunch of he's a very important. Yeah. Yeah, a small little band that nobody knows about. What are you talking about? It's a small little independent band that nobody has ever heard about. I think I'm one of the first people to really recommend them. The Beatles. See, it's funny because it's actually not spelled the way you think it's spelled. See, one of the funniest things about the Beatles, if I could for just a little bit, is that the Beatles is actually a very terrible little. The name the Beatles is a terrible little pun. See, they don't actually spell the Beatles like the bug the Beatles. They spell it like the Beatles, like like the beat of music. Right? Yeah. So I always yeah. That's my favorite. Yeah. It's not, don't beat the littles. No, don't. Yeah. Fred's having fun. Fred's having fun. I don't know what Fred is doing, but Fred is having fun. Yeah. I mean, it's really good stuff going. Fred is happy making his references to Roblox games that I will never ever play. So when I used to stream just on Discord for a while, we could do that. I do miss that when we were doing some Discord streaming. That was such a fun time. Yeah. Cool. I played it a few times. I played it like three or four times. I think I'm good for the rest of my life. I experienced enough of it. Okay. Oh, it's just white. Yeah, it's just white noise, really. It's just white noise at this point. Um, you should be angry at the world. What's riled your blood up? Screw the universe. Boy, I really wish I had brought Nightbot back. They do. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to hear that, Fred. That you're going mentally unstable. Yep. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. Okay, Fred. Fred, enough. Enough with the emojis. Okay? I'm getting tired of seeing them. I feel that, Fade. I feel that. I agree with that. Thank you, Lele. Thank you. Yeah. Uh-huh. I'll just say very blatantly, two things I hate is emoji spam and uh, constant just letter spam in general. I prefer having a conversation. I prefer not seeing nothing but emojis. And I'm very tempted to turn Nightbot back on if this keeps happening. Okay. Even though I don't want to, I'm very tempted to turn it back on. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you, Lele. Okay. It is. It is very frustrating. Yeah. I was thinking about like Fred, are you gonna do that bit you were doing last night? Because I did not like that bit either. Okay. Oh, that was such a good bit. Oh, that was so. That was such a dark. Yeah. Well, the thing about it is like Reed can be. You're not banned, Fred. You're just. You should. You should fade. We're just asking you to read the tone of the room. Yeah, timeout is not a ban. You're getting very close to being timed out for the rest of the stream, Fred, but it's not a ban. Yeah. Well, people talk about the Fantastic. Fred. Which line? Fred, do you want me to do this? Calm down, okay? I got the 24-hour thing up right now, Fred. I can hit the timeout button. Okay. Oh, Hakuna Matata. No, I did. Frankly, I've been losing my patience. Fred. Yeah, we'll see. Well, it's the stream can't work if like we can't like if like okay. So here's my thing. The stream can't work if we can't talk. And every time we were about to talk, Fred would interrupt, and it was really starting to bug me. And and he's been spamming a lot, and it's been really grinding me. So this is a back and forth conversation, and this is not the Fred show. So yeah, we're not mad at. I don't know. So yeah, Fred, you just need to calm down, okay? You can come back, but you're in timeout for 30 minutes. Yeah. Well, he's a kid. He's a kid, but I was losing my patience. Frankly, I was just kind of losing my patience. Let me deal with it. Okay, I'll be the one to deal with it. Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, sorry, Fred. I don't like I don't like shit talking anybody, so we won't. But it was starting to grate on me. Okay. Anyways. Yeah. I agree. It's a matter of trust. Anyways. Okay. Whatever. You're always welcome. It's not a ban. You're not kicked out, but I put him in timeout for 30 minutes, and we'll. It's not like he was saying anything. Sorry. Are you okay? I'm sorry to hear that. Probably. Is that like a consistent thing, Fade? Because when I had that, I found it because for about a year I was like in like extreme pain like that, and I found out I had an abscess growing in my stomach from untreated Crohn's disease. So I always warn people if they have that. It's like that was like the worst year of my life. Yeah. Oh my god, it was terrible. I couldn't sit down on anything. I would collapse in pain. Okay, good. I just always warn people because I always scared that it'll happen to me again. Yeah, like the fact that for a year straight, I literally had like I just threw clothes down next to my computer chair, and every couple of like minutes I would just collapse on it because I was in such pain. And like I didn't appreciate like that I was sick. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, there should be. I assume there are pills. Duh. Yeah. Yeah. No, those episodes, and then he began. Yeah. Never over on Twitch. The problem with Fantastic Four is that Reed is a little bit of a standoffish prick, and that a lot of people have problems with that. Yeah. Ugh, I'm sorry. The Thing is a great character. Ben Grimm is one of the best characters in Marvel. In my opinion, I like that. Every time I think about it, I was like, The Thing is like top tier Marvel character and should probably be getting a lot more credit. Should probably be in like the top 10 of Marvel characters. Yeah. 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 Well, basically, him being basically Jack Kirby is helps with that. Yeah. And Fade. No, I just sorry. I'm just having a few different conversations at once. No. No, 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 no. Fade. No, 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 no. Talk about it. I don't like. Just talk. Feel free to talk about it. Yeah. No, 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 Fade. You can always talk about stuff. You can talk about what you want to talk about on here. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. Sorry if it seemed like I minded. Yeah. No, no, no. I get it. Just you know. I'm sorry you have to go through that. Just I always have a few conversations going usually, so I just want to make, I never want to make anybody feel left out. I am sorry you have to go through that. Yes, you do need a medication. Yeah. Yeah. You do. Yes, it would be good to have medication. I'm not like. Yeah. Well, I always try and make sure. I always try and rope people into. I always try to make sure people like I talk to everybody. Which occasionally it means you have to split into like 4 or 5 different conversations at once, but it's fine. Yeah, no, I'm sorry you have to go through that. I'm sorry. Pills, like medicine to get that. I don't know. People are weird. It's like. I mean, yeah, but it's part of it. It's part of the whole convo. It's like, what is this? Oh. Sorry. Yeah. No, pain sucks. No, pain sucks. The thing about the Fantastic Four is Johnny, Sue, and Ben are actually pretty great characters. Reed is kind of boring. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's kind of my, politicians are. It's very weird that so much horrible things happens to women because in some people's heads it's protecting them. Like I was thinking about like is there something can you take like a Tylenol? Does that help Fade or yeah. Like you may yeah. Like I was thinking about okay, so do you guys know what a Ponzi scheme is? I mean, kind of is better than nothing. Yeah, Layla might be able to give you better advice on this. Do you guys know what a Ponzi scheme is? This will irritate you, Fade, but it's an interesting story. Ponzi scheme. Okay, so Ponzi schemes are you hear this a lot, and they're named after Charles Ponzi, who is we'll learn this is incorrect soon, but is kind of the one who people think came up with this. And Ponzi schemes are this. They are basically you have something going on, you take money, you say you're doing like an investment or something, people give you money, and then when people want profits, you just give money from other people back, and you're not really getting like no money, like it hasn't increased. All you're doing is bringing in new clients and paying new clients with old clients' money, or new clients with yeah. But the thing about that is, Ponzi wasn't the first person to do the Ponzi scheme. First Ponzi scheme in Women's Bank. The real first person to do the Ponzi scheme was this woman here, Sarah Howe. Now, Sarah Howe actually did hers first, and what she did was a ladies' deposit company. And the reason this worked, is because she started a bank that would let women sign up for bank accounts by themselves, because it was standard practice for banks to that women couldn't have their own bank account. Only men. If a woman wanted a bank account, she needed approval from a man. And this was a huge problem for many women, especially like, say, single mother. It's not a great story, because it's not a great... you're going to see what... it's actually really depressing. Unfortunately, it wasn't a real bank. What Sarah Howe was doing was she was doing a Ponzi scheme, where she would take the money that was given to her by newer clients and just give old. There was no real money coming in. There was no money being generated, because what a bank does is, invests. It gives. But what she was doing is just, if they wanted to pay out, she would just give them money that she was getting from new clients. And the problem is with Ponzi schemes always fall apart after a certain point, because there's just no money. There's no actual money. So she did it first, Sarah Howe. And then, but the reason this succeeded was because women could not, no other bank was giving women a bank account by themselves. And what was so terrible about this was that they used this as an excuse to not do that for a while. But the only reason this succeeded was because no other bank would let women do this. But Sarah Howe did it before Charles Ponzi, but Ponzi is the person... the person who got the name. Anyways, so that's a bit of financial chicanery. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's basically it. Always be careful of when people claim, yeah. If you're curious, this is then what Bernie Madoff will do. Yeah, even the crimes. Bernie Madoff. Yeah, even the women who are innovated with crimes don't get the credit. Unfortunately. Now, Bernie Madoff, of course, would, I believe, steal up to $18 billion. Now, okay, to be fair, there have been several female leaders throughout history who have started wars, but yes, the majority of wars were started by men. I mean, to be fair, like somebody like Catherine the Great started a whole bunch of wars. Catherine the Great. Yeah. Do you know who Catherine the Great is? No worries. I see you. I see you. The Empress of Russia. Yeah. Yep. So there have been women who have started wars. But yeah, it's mostly men. It's mostly men. Good, yeah. I would be surprised if you didn't learn about her in AP World History, being if she's one of the most important. I am still alive. Hey! Hey, Rainbow Dragon. I forgot what your nickname was supposed to be. That's one of my favorite fun facts. Is the emo? Dragina. I was about to say the emo wars of Australia. The emo wars of Australia, which means logically that the emus should be in charge of Australia right now. I said, we must the emo emu of yeah, the emo emu. Long live the emo emu. Ugh, life is all about pain and destruction. And I don't know. I don't know what do emos do now? Are emos still a thing? Did the scene kids replace them? Yeah. Yeah. Emus. I've met an emu before. The emu, the black. He's an emu. Yeah. Are like, I assume the emos were very excited about the existence of the Umbrella Academy, but I mean that always happens. You know, like these sort of subcultures don't really last more than like a generation or two before they mutate into something different. The emo emu revolution. Emo emu revolution. Emo emu revolution. The emo emu evolution. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do punk kids exist? Do hippie kids? Like, do you think hippies are a thing? Still, I don't know. I don't know what the subcultures are. I mean, that's good that I don't know what the subcultures are. I assume weebs are a thing. Are weebs a thing? Tell me, what is the latest subculture on the internet? What are the clicks now? You know, I have to say, beyond like club. I mean, I was a little bit Fade. I have to admit, Fade. I have to admit that was a little bit me in high school. I was definitely one of those kids. I was like, it's so stupid here. It's so dumb. Everybody. Yeah. I was a little bit like, I was that kid in high school. We're having. It's still me, never. Yeah. No, well, I'm going to keep this up for a while. Did I tell you why I'm doing this? Because I'm working for a campaign. I'm working for a political campaign right now, and I want to create some distance between like the serious work I'm doing and this stuff. That's why. Always. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did I not talk about that? Yeah. I'm working for a campaign at the moment, trying to flip a red seat blue. Hopefully, here in Texas. I mean, I've always been into. I know a lot about politics. I read a lot about politics. I'm trying to help my home district flip to blue. Hopefully, I can help in some way. Yeah. You know, Fade, you can volunteer to work on a political campaign. They're you know, I do hate politics. It's complicated. I hate. Uh, Thank you. Yeah, it's complicated. My feelings. I don't like Trump. I really don't like Trump. It might work. Okay, it might work. It might work. Yeah, well, I thought I could help the campaign. Well, it's my home. Okay, so, um, okay, so the district I live in has been pretty firmly red. One, Texas has a ton of blue districts. Yeah, Texas has a ton of blue districts, but the district I live in has been very red for a long time. But we are in a sort of a unique opportunity here because what has happened is there is a chance to flip this. It's a little bit of a long shot, but we might have a chance. So what happened is our representative, the guy that has won the election here a bunch of times that I've always voted against, is a guy named Dan Crenshaw. He is the eye patch dude. And it was actually quite a surprise that he lost because Crenshaw has been pretty popular for a very long time. And what made me very nervous about this and made me want to try at least to help in some way is the reason Crenshaw lost is because he went against Trump. Now, Crenshaw has been a supporter of Trump and has voted on almost 90% of what Trump has supported. The one thing Crenshaw didn't like was the wars. He supported Ukraine and he didn't support Iran. And that was enough to get him kicked out. And I was like, okay, so this is crazy. This is dangerous and crazy that like a guy who was like 90% on Trump's side, he disagrees with him one thing and he's out. And it's like, so the guy who's going to replace him is a guy named Stephen Toft, who is running to replace him is a guy named Stephen Toft. Not a fan of Stephen. He is a super right wing dude. He is like a hyper evangelical Christian, and I think he's like a dangerous dude. And clearly, he's going to be just a Trump sycophant. That's the entire reason he's been picked. So, being as there has been a slight shift in the redrawing of my district, that has now included more Democrats, and that Trump, although he won my district, didn't win it by as much as he did last time, there might be a chance that we could flip this seat. You know, it's a bit of a long shot. But there might be a chance we can flip this seat. The Republicans don't have the incumbency to help them. It's a midterm this year. It's a midterm this year with projected high Democratic turnover, and we have a potential for exactly a potential to overturn to switch this seat. I should mention who I'm working. I should mention the campaign I'm working for. It's not like I'm being paid, by the way. I'm just volunteering, but I'm going to be... hopefully I'll be on the campaign for a while. It's a guy named Sean Finney. Sean Finney. Yeah, there he is. I met him a few days ago, so he's nice. He's nice. So there's a chance this is the guy I'm working for. Yeah. Well, he spells the name wrong, so. Yeah, but he's a nice guy. I met him a few days ago. He's very nice, very passionate, very easy. Very, you know, he's kind of like just kind of like a laid back dad. Most laid back dad. He's very knowledgeable about economics and likes baseball and is very happy to talk to people about baseball. Anyways, yeah, he's a nice guy. If you want to give him a look, maybe give him a follow. Maybe mention you followed him because of me. Fade. SEAN is the real way to spell it. Sean is a phonetic English version of the name. SEAN is the proper Gaelic way to spell it. That's because it's not an English name, Fade. It is an Irish name. Yeah. Anyways, space balls in space. Anyways, yeah. If you want to follow him, I don't know. No, I mean don't say that. But he's. I guess I should link his thing. I guess I'll link his donation. His name isn't Jack? Rishi. Thank you. That's hilarious. Yeah, thanks. Hey, listen. I'm part of this. I'm part of the social media team, so I'm doing my job. So I'm part of the social media team for him, so I'm doing my job. I'm making this sound so big, but I'm like such a small fry in this campaign. I'm just a volunteer, but I hope to work for them until the end of the campaign. You know, if they need me. Yes, I'm a political insider now. I'm a bigwig Washington political insider now. I don't know. I've always followed politics. I've always been like a political person, I guess. What happens is the reason I don't mention it, at least on here, is because one, it occasionally attracts like real like shitheads, and it's like I just don't want to debate it, man. I just don't want to debate. I'm tired of debating it every 5 seconds, you know. I'm tired of people coming in and screaming at me, you know, because it's just exhausting, and it's like, you know, I don't necessarily want to be known as like the guy who just talks about politics. There's plenty of guys who do that. You know, so, and that's like it's a mentally stressful thing to be that guy. Well, we're all cheering for you. How's it going, Reach? We're all cheering for you, Fade. You are goated. Nice. Do you guys want to watch a wrestling match? Tell me about it. Tell me about how it. It's considered one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time. It is it's a Joshi match, which is the lady wrestlers, pro wrestlers of Japan. I realized, and this is on me. I'm writing a series about a lady wrestler, and I realized I don't know a lot about the Joshi stuff, which is this is the female wrestling, and is what you call female wrestlers in Japan. And I was like, oh, dang, I know a lot about the guys, but I don't know as much about the Joshis as I probably should. So I've been making an effort to learn a little bit more about the Joshi. Yeah. Do you know? Let me. Can I share with you my favorite female wrestler? I think Fade you'll like this. I think Fade you'll like her. This is Bull Nakano. What do you think? Can you see her clearly? Let's see. Let me show you a match. Not a WWE match, just because Let's see. I've been playing. Okay. Buddy Holly plus Bull Nakano. There's a romantic pairing. Okay. Let me, shut up, Jim Cornette. Okay, we can't watch WWE match because I get copyright striked every time that happens. So let's see. Okay, let me show you something. This is a real famous clip. Ah, there it is. No, okay. I'm just trying to find it, just to show you what she's like. She was introduced into the WWE Hall of Fame. If I could just go out a little, this is something that only people who follow wrestling will know about. She was introduced in the WWE Hall of Fame a few 2 years ago, and it was a big controversy because people were like, well, I don't know who she is. I don't know who she is. And that made me laugh because it's like she was never in the WWE. First of all, she was in the WWE. So what that means is what happens is that means when the female wrestlers of the Japanese wrestlers came on, they just didn't pay attention. They were just like, gosh, turn it off. And it's like, did you just not watch? He had like 1 million matches in the WWE, mostly against Laundry plays, but okay.
Who is Bull Nakano in 1 minute or less? Let's go. Bull Nakano was recently announced to be inducted into the WWE.
Oh, come on. Oh, no, I want to show something specific. There's a famous thing. There's a real famous clip that I just want to show. And then she's supposed to be a bad guy, by the way. Wrestling is fun just because it's like, oh, here it is. Haha, I found it. Okay. Okay. So I believe that's Dump Mastino right there, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think that's Dump Mastino. So if you're curious, here Dump Mastino. I'm saying it wrong. I apologize to everybody in Japan. I am saying all this stuff wrong. So a little backstory. Dump is essentially her mentor. Is essentially her mentor in both in the fiction of wrestling and in real life. And Bull started out when this is her right here. Bull started out when she was about 15, and Dump was about 20. Anyways, so famously they got into a big program. Anyway, so this isn't great footage, but watch her right here. Watch what she does. Okay. I wish I could find it. Oh! Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. She jump. Ah. Oh shit! The jumping bomb angels. The amazing thing is she gets off. She gets off. She jumps up. Oh, that's a good match. I love the jumping. I love. If just one more thing. If you don't know who one of the best names for a tag team ever was the Jumping Bomb Angels. And so Bull and Dump versus the Jump. Okay. I'll just point out before you go, if you're curious about all of this, Dump Mestino, there's a TV show about her on Netflix. Netflix did an adaptation of her. There's a TV show about Dump on Netflix. There she is. So if you want to watch like the history of like Japanese wrestling from like famous like kind of bad guy punk women, yeah, you could watch that. I would recommend that. Yes. Because famously, okay, so women's wrestling in the U.S. was not that great for many years. Oh yeah, go to bed. There's a whole controversy. Go to bed, Layla. Okay, so there's a whole like really dark controversy about what happened with women's wrestling in America, but in Japan, with women's wrestling in America, and it is still like it is still being reflected today, but they're still dealing with it today. But in Japan, women's wrestling pretty much was often equal to the men's wrestling. So if you want good women's wrestling, you have to go to Japan. Vintage women's wrestling. Nowadays, it's pretty equal. Sorry if I'm talking too much. That's Dump. Okay, one last little thing. Sorry, this is... Nowadays, it's a lot better. With, like, the women's revolution and stuff like that. And we've got a lot of really great female wrestlers here in the U.S., although many of them aren't actually American. Like... Arguably one of the biggest stars right now in the whole industry is Rhea Ripley. Who is like... Okay, nope. Who is just like... Anyways, go to bed. Sorry, I've been talking too long. Sorry if you're still here and I'm still talking. I just so rarely get to talk about like things I'm interested in.
ザ・ディスティニークライマックスと題して行われます。このベルトの権威をしのぐ戦いと言われてますけれども、まずは赤コーナーの豊田真奈美選手、今の気持ち聞かせてください。
そうですね、北斗選手がああだこうだ言ってますけど、私はそうですね、もう時代を変えるためにも北斗晶を必ず倒さなきゃいけないんで、北斗晶を倒してスリーダブル A に必ず挑戦します。
新女王へのステップということになりますね。意気込みが感じられます。さて青コーナーは北斗晶選手です。 運命の対決のその大トリということですけれども、今の心境を聞かせてください。
そうだね、運命の対決っても何が運命なんだろうっていう感じもするけど、
まあ、旧女王と新女王、この対戦ではないかという見方もあるんですけれども、
私は別に女王じゃないもん、だから私は女王でもないし、豊田真奈美も女王ではないと思う、新女王でもないし旧女王でもないと思う。だから私たちは自分の時代をつかむために今日は戦わなきゃいけないんだから、まあ、北斗晶時代より先に豊田真奈美時代が来てしまっては私は困るという。
その新しい時代を切り開くというふうに、
まあどっちが勝ってもすぐにね、どっちかの時代が来るっていうのはそれはまずありえないことだし、だから時代を作るための第一歩のね、やっぱり踏み台にしなきゃいけないし、
隊長の方はどうですか？
隊長の方はトヨタがどっかで聞いてるかもしれないから言いません。
まもなくこの決戦の火蓋が切って落とされます。
Oh, that's sick. I love this thing. You can't see it, but I'm dancing. Part of me would just love to sit here and watch the full thing, but I think I would get in trouble for that. Anyways. Okay. How long have I been on for? 2 hours and 30 minutes. I mean, that's a decent enough time to call it. Almost 3. Sure, let's call it here. Okay, everybody. It was good talking to you. Bye.